Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate Burdish and I'm so happy to have you all with me today. Today's video is the second video in the two-part series directed towards parents of young readers. In the last video, we discussed the different obstacles that your child may be struggling with while learning to read and how to identify them specifically. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure you go check it out before you watch the rest of this video. Now that you have identified your child's specific issues, we are going to be diving in and talking about how we can address those specific problem areas with tools and exercises. I can't wait to dive in and discuss all my content with you all, but before we continue, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. Also, if you hear any activities or resources that you think would be helpful to your reader, make sure to check my caption because that's where I will be providing links to the exercises and tools that I will be mentioning in this video. Okay, let's begin. The first issue that we discussed in the first part of this series was difficulty with phonics, which is when a reader has difficulty sounding out words and matching letters and sounds. If your child is struggling with this issue, there are many exercises that you can do together to help improve their photonic awareness. One activity that you can do is play rhyming game. This is when you try to find words that end with the same sound, such as cat and hat. This activity will help your child recognize similar sounds. Another activity that can be greatly beneficial is called word segmentation. This is when you break a word down into individual sounds. For example, you as the parent give your child the word, for example, cat, and they have to break it down into the sounds ka, a, and t. This will help them recognize what sounds belong in what words. Lastly, practicing sound recognition exercises can also be very useful. You must say a word and ask your child to identify the beginning, middle, and end in different sounds. Doing these activities will greatly improve your learner's photonic awareness. However, if you still feel like your child requires additional support, there are many online resources and apps that are designed specifically to help raise photonic awareness. One highly recommended program is called All About Reading. This program provides a multitude of structured lessons and interactive activities that make learning phonics effective and engaging. Okay, great. Let's move on to our second issue, which is slow reading. And we defined this before as if your child is often hesitating or stalling on words. One way to help your child with this issue is to show them your own fluent reading. Hearing others read fluently will help show your child what the ideal pace should be while you're reading. Another tool that you can teach your child is how they can effectively track their words. This is as simple as teaching your child to run their finger underneath the line that they are reading. You can even incorporate this activity into times where you yourself are reading, asking your child to follow along with their finger underneath the words that you are saying. Lastly, it is extremely important to practice sight words with your learners if you have noticed that certain words cause more difficulty than others. Some examples of these sight words that can be difficult are before, house, and walk. The reason why new readers struggle with sight words is because they are not decodable by sounding them out. This can be especially difficult for students because these sight words are used repeatedly in children's text. To practice this, you can Google some of the most common sight words and do activities incorporating those words. An example of one of these activities is using magnetic letters and putting the correct letters on them, then showing the child the correct spelling of the sight word, then mixing them up and having the child rearrange them until they get the sight word correct. Also, you could just do mobile activity vocabulary games where you're plugging in those sight words, so then you can take the activities anywhere. Struggling with reading comprehension is also a very common issue. With the right tools can be improved greatly. Firstly, when you are reading with your child, you need to foster their comprehension. You can do this by asking your learner questions about what you just read. Ask them to summarize chapters, ask them opinions on certain characters, ask them what they think the main idea would be. Another way to guide your reader into having a better reading comprehension is to ask them to picture what is going on in the book in their mind while they are reading. Also, to provide your student with a clear idea of who is talking and time change, try to teach your student to have text structure awareness. Helping children to understand the different organization structures of different texts can aid them in comprehending the information more effectively. Lastly, modeling your comprehension skills by making connections between new information and past information will show them how they should be approaching text and what they should be thinking about when reading. Moving on. Many children also struggle with vocabulary challenges, referring to when a child has limited recognition or understanding of words they come in contact with while reading. One solution to this challenge is to incorporate different interactive word games into your child's routine. This could be trying to have a word of the day. This is when every day you pick a new word to teach your child and you both try to incorporate it into your sentences throughout the day. Another way where you can incorporate interactive word games into your child's routine is by using flashcards. Also, it can be beneficial to read a wide variety of different books that discuss different topics, so it introduces new words to your child with context. When doing this, make sure your child is using pictures, surrounding sentences, and context clues to try to decode the unfamiliar word. However, if your child is unable to infer the meaning of the word based on the context, it is very important that you explain the meaning of the word to your child so they keep building a greater vocabulary. Lastly, in your everyday life, try to model your language by using a wide variety of different words to show your child how new words can be integrated into their vocabulary. By doing all of these different techniques, it is assured that your child will grow their vocabulary and be a more fluent reader. Okay, let's move on to the next issue. In the previous video, I also discussed dyslexia and what are the signs that your child may have it. As I said again in the last video, the most important thing that you can do for dyslexia is get early intervention by taking them to a specialist and getting diagnosed. Once your child is diagnosed, there are many different solutions to help your child with their issue. For example, specialized tutoring, multisensory approaches, and the use of assistive technology. One of these innovative assistive technologies is text-to-speech software. This is when text can be read out loud, but also the child can follow along because the text is still there. For me personally, I think that this technology is greatly helpful because me being with dyslexia have used software just like this and seen great improvement in my own reading and writing. One program that offers free textbooks and countless novels to people with diagnosed dyslexia is called Reading Ally. By taking full advantage of these interventions and technologies, it becomes possible for individuals with dyslexia to thrive academically and beyond. They will be able to have equal education opportunities and experience the joy of reading. Early support and the use of the right tools can make the world of difference in their education journey. Moving on, we will discuss how to improve a child's attention while reading. One way to do this is to create a distraction-free, quiet reading zone. After doing this, try to create achievable reading goals that your learner can try to achieve. Once you notice that your child is doing fine reading for a time that might have been difficult for them in the past, try increasing the time and use breaks as needed. Another strategy that more pertains with children with diagnosed attention disorders is to try to incorporate mindfulness and meditation into their routine. This will increase their overall attention span. Overall, I want to emphasize that having difficulties with attention while reading is 100% fixable and just takes a little bit of practice on your part and your child's part. Lastly, if you feel like your child just has an overall avoidance towards reading and is struggling all around, then these are the techniques that you should try with your child. First off, you should try to surround your child with reading material that they will take enjoyment in and they are interested in. This could mean taking regular trips to the library or letting them choose their own books. Lastly, make note to read frequently out loud to your child to show them that reading is something that we can enjoy and we can partake in throughout our whole lives. Also, you may consider planning family reading nights to encourage a love of reading within your home. Remember, parents, you're doing an incredible job supporting your child's reading journey. By utilizing these tools and techniques, you are empowering your child to overcome their challenges and thrive while reading. Keep encouraging their progress with patience and positivity. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to sharing more tips and strategies with you soon. Thank you so much for joining me. See you next time.